All right, folks. Today we are going to follow through with how stories are built. Remember, we have been looking at exposition, inciting event, and climax. By now, you should have finished listening to The Lottery. If you haven't finished listening to The Lottery, go to our classroom calendar, go back and finish the story. Now, for those of you that have finished, and hopefully you are coming back to this video because you have finished the story, let's look at, as we look at how stories are built, we remember this image where we have exposition, inciting event, and then we get up to this climax. We're not looking at our other pieces right now. Those will come at another time. Right now we are looking at some of those just key pieces. The exposition is the start of the story. It's the point where the storyteller gets to tell the person where it is, who's in it. It allows the listener or the reader to build an image in their head. They're able to get a picture of just what's going on because they now know where this place is, who's in it. So we need to know our characters and setting. In Lamb to the Slaughter, the characters were Mary, her husband, and the police. The setting was in Mary's living room in her house. Now, while there may be other characters and other settings, we are just looking for the big ones. As we listened to The Lottery, our characters were Mr. Summers. His name came up at the beginning, followed through all the way to the end. Mr. Summers' name was in there probably the most frequently. And then beyond that, we had lots of town people. If we remember anyone else, there was the old man in the town, of course, and a couple others. But we're able to picture a full group of people because it's the full townsfolk. And then the setting, we can tell, is like in the middle of a town. They're getting ready to do some big event. They're doing the lottery, big event. So we have this picture in our minds now of a bunch of people in the middle of a town. There's somebody that's probably going to be the leader up at the front. There are children running around with things in their pockets. The exposition sets up the story so that we can picture this one guy talking to the group, a large group of people, and they're in the middle of a town. That is our exposition. Inciting event. The inciting event, some people call that conflict. This is the thing that starts the main characters doing or feeling of something. In Lamb to the Slaughter, Mary's husband tells her, "I know it's kind of a bad time to be telling you, but there simply wasn't any other way. Of course, I'll give you money and see you're looked after." What was our inciting event from the lottery? People started to draw slips of paper out of a box for the lottery drawing. They were all told, "It's time. We do this every year. It's time that we start doing our lottery." And then they all start talking to each other, and they start whispering to each other. One person shouts out that this isn't fair, one person shouts out that they've been doing this for so many years, and then they all start drawing their paper. But the inciting event, the thing that starts all of this intrigue, all of the events, the thing that changes it from just, here are a bunch of people in this place, the event that changes it from just, here's a bunch of people, and moves on to, here's what they're doing. So people start drawing slips of paper out of a box for a lottery drawing. And then finally we have climax, the peak of the story's interest, the excitement, the intrigue. In Lamb to the Slaughter, Mary kills her husband. In the lottery, the people in town begin to attack the person who drew the paper with the black spot. That's like, what? And of course, that's kind of confusing, but at the same point, it's easy to see that we have characters in the town. They start drawing paper, and then as they all start talking, they finally go, "This is the person whose name it is. Attack her." We now have the climax, the most exciting part, the peak of excitement and the peak of intrigue for our story. As we continue reading stories, we should begin making this a natural process for ourselves of building an image of our mind. Who is this? Who's in our story, and where are we? We should build that exposition. We should be seeing, where is this story starting off? Of course, we first need to meet everyone and know where we are, but then what is the thing that kicks all of the storyline off? And then where is that most exciting part? Where is that peak of excitement and intrigue? We should be able to start recognizing these and trying to use our literal comprehension skills of remembering Mr. Summers was the main character of the story. Mary was the main character of the story. They were in a town. They were in Mary's living room. We should be practicing these literal comprehension skills. We should be able to practice several of those, and we will practice them as we continue.